Hello, everyone. Time to test more multi-streaming. This time I'm doing a hobby test. The gaming streaming I did with Tabletop Simulator went flawless on YouTube. Periodically dropped, but kept everything on Twitch. And did the first like 30 minutes on Facebook and then dropped completely. I imagine it's because of the extensiveness of how I'm streaming the game, and I haven't changed any settings for optimization. Just kind of haphazardly went about it. But now I want to see what it looks like with just hobby streaming and see how well this goes. See if it holds true with, or holds the stream without lagging while I'm painting. So as people show up, I'll probably start ranting more. But for now, I'm just going to be painting some Blood Reavers. Also, the more I do these hobby streams, the more I will consider getting something beyond my potato camera for the model camera. But I'm doing lots of red on helmets and random armor. We'll see how this goes. Using contrast because I'm not putting a lot of work in 50 Blood Reavers. Basically want to get the red on a lot of the like helmets and maybe the armor on their legs and arms that are sporadically about throughout the models. And then I'll just go back and dry brush a bronze over it just to give it the metallic sheen. But these are definitely my version of speed painting because I'm still slow with speed painting. Also, if you're here, let me know if you can hear me or not. I want to make sure my volume's good. I should be good. But just in case, you know, let me know. I don't have any music this time on multi-streaming because I haven't read up on copyright strikes and what all they're involved with on Facebook. I know how they work on YouTube and Twitch. I mean, it's my own stuff that I play, but I don't know how weird Facebook's going to get, so I'll find out. I should probably put on, I don't want to put on headphones since I'm not doing that. So chat and I'll see it. And if you follow or subscribe or any of that stuff on any of the platforms, I'll see it. Because I do just have the screen up where I can glance up and notice. Let's see. I don't know if I should do red on their leg plates. And some of them have arm plates too that are metal. I know I'm going to just do straight bronze on the, I know it's hard to see on here, but I know I'm just going to do straight bronze on the neck piece, but on their little leg pieces. Should I do those red too, or just the helmets and arms where applicable? I don't know. You know what? With the dry brushing of bronze, I'm just going to err on the side of red. Do his little crotch plate and his shin guards. All the weapons that aren't already painted silver, I'm going to do black Templar contrast. And then I'll dry brush those silver. Anything in red, I'm going to dry brush with the bronze. Because when you're painting 50 Blood Reavers, you tend not to put as much thought into it. So, I am quite excited for 3rd edition. Got that thing that happens in between editions of any game, card games or anything, where you're not sure if you want to play or not until the new edition comes out. Oh, hey, thanks, Rocco. So he's stepping in for a bit, but looking good on this end of the stream from Facebook. Good to know. Good to know. Thank you. You're the first feedback I've had from Facebook, so that is helpful. I'm on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook right now. And, yeah. So far, the gaming stream went completely flawlessly on YouTube. Never lagged, kept the whole thing. Twitch captured the whole thing, but it periodically dropped, so it's segmented. There's like 5 videos for the whole thing. Facebook kept the first 30 minutes and then dropped. So for this, I'm going to be going for a while because, because I've had some beverage, so it'll likely have me be here longer than I realize. And I just want to be here longer to paint, and that will also tell me how long this will last on each platform. I kind of already know where I'm going to go with this, but it already shows me that I'm likely going to keep the Tabletop Simulator streams exclusive to Twitch, and then edit them down like I have been to put on YouTube, but never replace real Battle Report content with that, just supplement with it. And then hobby streams, unless all of our YouTube subscribers absolutely love it, I'm going to keep that on Twitch and multi-stream to Facebook. Because I don't really interact on my social medias as much as I should. But it's because I have a burning hatred of social media. And I wouldn't even have one if it wasn't for the page. So really all it is me posting links to the videos I do. So at least this way, some of the people on Facebook and these other platforms have a chance to interact if they care to. And if they don't, then I'm talking to no one. But hey, I'm going to be the first time I've talked to myself. Alright, there we go. Sorry for the weird angles, but I'm going to leave his little Choke Me Daddy collar to do later as a metallic. Probably just do Black Templar on that and the weapons, and then dry brush silver. Possibly even red on the extra parts here, like on the side where these teeth are. Again, sorry for the potato camera. And the reds, I'll dry brush bronze. I'll call him good. Moving on. 49 more to go. Don't know if I'll do all 49 tonight, but I will be here for a while because I feel like chatting. You know, as soon as I get people asking questions, or I get more than like 1 or 2 people in here, or I get bored and want to talk about it anyway, I'm going to start going into some of my thoughts about 3rd edition. Some what I'd like to do, some plans, maybe talk about some Soulblight Gravelords a little bit, because while I'm not actively going to play the army, Chris is, my wife, Talilia, I'm still very interested in it. It's very cool. You ever have those ancillary armies that you never play but you really, really like and pay a lot of attention to? I got a lot of that. But you know what, I'm going into it now because it's on my mind. It's really interesting to me that the new, like, gargoyle-esque vampire monster, where they have the, like, monster body, and then the on the bottom half, and then the top half is like a, I don't know if it's actually the real vampire or if it's like just what they form and it's not really what they look like. It's like, are they the creature on the bottom, or are they the vampire on the top? What is existence? But anyway, my point being, it's kind of cool that they can have zombie dragons and terrorgeists. From what the Warhammer community articles are saying, is Battleline. It's very cool if they don't take away Flesh Eater Courts, which I don't think they will, but, you know, I won't write anything off until I see it for sure. If that just means that, you know, there's going to be vampires with big dragons and Flesh Eater Courts with big dragons, but very different flavors, I think that's great. If it's going to get rid of Flesh Eater Court stuff, then that's very sad, because Flesh Eater Courts have some of the best story in the game, and I don't care that they don't have a lot of unit choice compared to some of the other armies out there. They're cool as hell. Plus, just, you know, for our local stuff, in-house. It'd be cool for Chris to be able to paint a big monster vampire and then already have her painted Flesh Eater Court stuff, and then just have 2 armies. Be able to have a Soulblight Gravelords and Flesh Eater Courts by painting like 1 model. I haven't looked at the spoilers all that much. I just don't. I don't care about spoilers. I won't do anything with it until I have the stuff in hand anyway. And I don't theory craft well just by looking at that stuff. I mean, maybe with Cities, if Cities gets a new battle tome, I'll be pretty intense just because I'll be looking for what Phoenix Guard get. But I usually don't indulge in spoilers all that much. I mean, hell, I still don't even know what happens in the last season of Game of Thrones. Probably has something to do with the fact that I'm not on social media much, but I'm good at ignoring stuff. Just ask my wife. Sorry. Looks very like, I know you can't see it with this crappy camera, but yeah, you can't see that at all. Boo. Oh well. Well, you have to trust me that this guy's shoulder looks very like Oni Minpo on his forearm. Y'all are making me want to get a better camera for this. You know, I've tried switching these. The camera that's on my face right now, and then using the one that's on the model on my face, and it still comes out blurry. I just can't figure out. I tried different lighting, tried everything. I can't figure out how to get the models to look clean or clear with what I have. So I'll do some research, and if it's the camera, then I'll get a new camera. Something I'm doing, I will try to fix that too. Rather, I will try to fix that first. Why does it seem like I just put water on that? The contrast is not spreading right. No, it's not spreading right, it's just not spreading as expected. So it's kind of nifty that Neferata gets Death Rattle. I don't guess I really care who got it. It's just kind of cool. More so, my point is that it's really cool that all these different legions or bloodlines have such diversity with their unit choice, but also have a very noticeable focus. Death Rattle finally has its like actual focused army, which is very cool. I really like that Manfred does something with Vargheists and zombies. Very cool that the basically Resident Evil lady in final form, spoiler alert, sorry, gets zombie dragons and terrorgeists. Like, it's the fact that there's so many different ways to get different battle lines and stuff too. You know, there's a way to get Black Knights as battle guard, way to get Blood Knights as battle guard, zombies and skeletons and Vargheists, and I don't know, it feels like, I'm gonna say it feels like Nagash was holding all these vampires back. Now they can show their true abilities. Now that the big man isn't breathing down their necks, as it were. You're repeating myself here. I know I haven't seen the spoilers, but does anybody know, is Nagash available with Soulblight Gravelords? That'd be interesting to know. If you're watching now or watching later, comment. Because I don't read until I have the book in hand. And even then, it's you know, 50-50 on whether I will or not. I mean, hell, I got all excited and wouldn't watch 2+ Tough spoilers for Be'lakor until I got the book. And I finally got the book, read like a page, and was like, ugh, I don't like reading. I mean, I like reading, but it's hard for me now. My eyes get tired and get distracted and all kinds of stuff. Lose focus. That's a real bad one, is I lose focus. So anyway, I avoided the spoilers for all that time, then finally got the book, and then read like a page, and then was like, alright, and then went and watched Doug's 2+ Tough videos anyway. So, I've kept up with the story of Broken Realms, which has been really, really cool. Space battles. Want. I'm very interested to see where 3rd edition goes. It looks really neat. They seem to be less scared to really push things forward with Age of Sigmar, and I like that. Pardon me while I hydrate. Oh boy, let's see, multi-stream. Here we go. Apparently I have a multi-stream tab where I can read chat. I'm learning. I'm learning. Very cool. Watched a bit of Meph stream tonight. Quite a bit of it. It's very cool how to create better communities with your gaming. Which, Age of Sigmar is already a good one, so if you can make it even better, yay. It's an interesting topic, especially now, since, you know, there's going to be a lot of unspoken awkwardness between big events where people from all over the country are going. Nice to be around people, though. Here in Texas, especially the town I'm in, that we never really lost that ability. But my God, watching the rest of the country have to suffer through all this has been painful. I feel terrible for everyone. I'm blessed that I haven't had to fully experience all that. Pardon my tactlessness, but tying things into Age of Sigmar as I do, whether it's a good thing to do or not, kind of shows you the less obvious, darker side of Nurgle. If you were to apply how these things work in game, in the mortal realms, as it were. Because, I mean, you always think about the obvious stuff with Nurgle. It's like, big pussy creatures oozing on me and puking and whatnot. It's gross. But, you know, you hear about all the takeover of Gyran from Nurgle. I mean, he basically owns the place now. And on a micro level, going down to the city levels, like, that would be major pandemic where, like, not only are you trying not to spread disease, but you're trying not to spread the corruption too, and the influence and all that. And we've been going through that here, all the problems we've had worldwide culturally. That's kind of shit that Nurgle would do with his problems, especially if they're trying to fight it and it wasn't a full-on takeover. I mean, it's dark. It's like some of the more violent places in the world. Kind of what would happen if Khorne was taken over. You know, we think about all these bloodthirsty barbarians, but also think about what it'd be like to be in a war-torn zone if you're not already in one. If you're in one and still watching, I appreciate it. I'm glad you're able to. But we have plenty of places that exist that are pretty war-torn. That would be kind of Khorne's takeover. I feel like most politics, I'm from America, so it's the easiest one to apply, but seeing all the, like, propaganda with news and whatnot and all that, that's what a Tzeentchian takeover would be like. And again, America, a Slaanesh takeover would be kind of what you see with the Hollywood culture. Or even, hell, all this OnlyFans crap and all that. It's like a degradation of society would be a Slaanesh takeover. Let's see, should I do these boots red? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it! Do the boots red! Just saying. There's a lot more than just demons. Literal demons that come with Chaos Takeover. And there is a reason that Chaos always seems to take over. Because they all just sort of seem to play on the extreme emotions of mankind. By the way, the reason I'm doing this tonight, for me, this is my Friday, so I can stay up late. So I will. Plus, when I stream, I seem to get a lot more painting done than I would normally. Let me tell you, if you haven't figured it out already, I am a slow painter. But if I'm going to feel like there's an unspoken dead zone or dead time between editions, I'm going to paint some things that I really wanted to play anyway. I had a lot of fun with Corn. I never played it on camera, but I played it a few times off camera, and then a few times on Tabletop Simulator. Let me tell you, I just have the most fun ever playing Corn, especially Corn Mortals. Just enjoy it. I'm not talking about how good or bad it is or anything, just pure enjoyment. I love it. Like, I enjoy this even more than Iron Jaws. And that's saying something. I enjoy the hell out of those too. Alright, I think that's all the red I'm doing on that guy. Next. You know what, I feel like painting some people that already have some medals done. You know, because I've inherited so many Corn models that there's so many sporadic paint jobs on these that I just kind of finishing up all the ones I can. Let's see. Looking at how this guy's painted, I don't really have a lot of... Yeah, never mind. I don't have any red that I want to paint. Next. Yeah, this model's like the exact same as that guy, but not painted the same. Let's do that. Sure. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Can't remember what episode it was, but I was listening to Warhammer Weekly recently. I heard Vince chiding Tom a little about not painting during downtime. There's a little bit that he said in their back and forth that really stuck with me. Like, once it's painted for the rest of your life. Because in this hobby, I mean, the model's done. Once it has the paint on it, you don't have to paint it again. It's not like you don't have to redo anything, and these things can hold over for, as we've seen, 30 years or more. And that's just in Age of Sigmar playability, not to mention just using it as a miniature in general for any other sort of game. Because I mean, like these Blood Reavers, for instance, since that's what I'm painting, these are perfect for just any sort of human. Barbarian, warrior, tribalist, good lord, just anything. They are usable for a lot. Once I get these shoulders done, I'm gonna go check on the other platforms to make sure they're running right. The stream says it's all good, but it did that last night too, and was dropping from other platforms. It's like it won't tell me how I'm doing on everything. Some shoulders done. Rinse this off. Give me a second to double check the other platforms. Now we'll get right back to some painting. Pretty excited about having a computer that's able to even do any of this. Apparently I got that just in time. There's a chip shortage now. It's affecting lots of stuff. Alright. Cool. Good to go. It's like I can trust the stream saying everything is okay. Now let's finish up this guy's legs. Jesus. Already 30 minutes in. I'm the fourth guy doing one color. You see why it takes so long for me to get new armies out? I'm gonna feel very revitalized playing all of my current armies in 3rd edition. I was able to order the Lumineth Realm piece, or Lumineth Terrain piece, excuse me. Don't know when it'll ever get in, but I was able to order it. That's the only reason I stopped playing Lumineth. That's alright, I've rekindled my love for Phoenix Temple anyway. Old Rocco kicking my teeth in with an army that has some Phoenix Guard and Phoenix Temple. I'm like, man, I miss those guys. I need to bring them back out. It's just, I've been teaching so many people for like the past year that you tend not to bring your heavy hitters out until they're ready for them. So, you know, the whole Hammer Hall Phoenix Temple list hadn't had as much mileage as I'd like on it. Nice thing about Tabletop Sim though is we can build all the net lists on there just to test our stuff against. Whereas before, if you didn't have it in your play area, then you just kind of never learned how to play against it. So you got to a tournament, or you just never did at all. Hey, that was sloppy, but good enough. Good enough for a Blood Reaver. Not spending a lot of time on these guys since, you know, they'll all be on the board for like 30 seconds before they die. Also, for those that see this, don't know if I'm going to keep this stuff on YouTube or not. I'm definitely keeping it all on Twitch. The Tabletop Simulator stuff is definitely staying on Twitch only. And then I'll edit down the full games into quicker to view games and throw them on YouTube like I have. They will not replace any live battle reports, merely supplement them. Hobby streams, I'm thinking after this, depending on how this goes tonight, hobby streams will be multi-stream to Twitch and Facebook, whereas my YouTube content will be what it is with the Now You Knows, the battle reports, the war centers, the occasional other thing. Other stuff like speed paints and whatnot. But podcasts, probably multi-stream those to Twitch and Facebook. And these hobby streams, I'm going to start multi-streaming to Twitch and Facebook. Got some polls up on YouTube, now that I can do that, in the community tab. One is, what is your favorite type of video that we put up on YouTube? Haven't had a lot of votes, but the early overwhelming vote is battle reports, which is kind of expected. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something, and like one of the other videos just happened to be the big reason people are there. I'm still going to do them, but I still would like to know where my main focus should be. I enjoy battle reports the most anyway. So glad that's why people are there. Second one is about this live content, on whether you would like it to be specifically just on Twitch, just on YouTube, or on both, or whatnot. I'm going to keep using that community tab to post polls to the subscribers, just to get feedback from y'all, because I mean, your feedback's what matters. So when I ask any questions or polls on there, it's not me just pissing in the wind. I'm really curious about it, and would really value your feedback on anything I ask on there. I was talking with Brian this last tabletop stream test we did about 3rd edition. And there's something that the developers mentioned in their videos about how they intended to make the phases more interactive. It seems like there was a lot that was assumed with that because of what has been said before, like, you know, the charge interactions and command points being generated differently, which we don't know exactly how, but likely just each turn they go away at the end of the turn. Probably more incentive to use them. But in the movement phase, I wonder how they're gonna, or if they are going to change the movement phase at all. Makes me wonder if they'll actually make the movement phase a not split where each individual player does all of their movement in their turn, or if it will just be a one movement phase per turn where you alternate. It's like, I move a unit, you move a unit. I move a unit, you move a unit. And then you go about your charges, and there's your charge reactions. I don't know. It makes me wonder how they're going to make each phase more interactive. It could be even, that same concept could apply to shooting phase too. It's like, you know, just like combat alternates, you could alternate shooting. It's like, all right, shooting phase. I'm going to shoot with these guys. All right, your turn. Who are you shooting with? All right, now I'm going to shoot with these guys. You know, that could really spice up a shooting army versus shooting army game for sure. This guy's about done. Or, you know, it's funny, it doesn't seem like it would take a lot of rules rewriting aside from just alternating more phases instead of having entire phases where one person's doing everything and the other person's doing nothing. That's what a movement phase is one opponent sitting there staring at their opponent for, you know, 2 to 5 minutes depending on how fast the person is at moving, and just watching. Nothing you can do about it, no reactions you can do. It's just going, huh, all right, well, that's where they went. Now they're going to charge. Well, that's where they went. Hey, what's up, Shrapnel? Good to see you. I mean, I'm reading it so I can see it, right? That counts. You know, and now that you've posted here, I've noticed since I'm learning this multi-stream thing, I've been asking people to tell me where they're posting from because I didn't know, but I can actually see on my multi-stream tab where they're posting from. John Rocco posted from Facebook. Shrapnel, you're posting from Twitch. So there's 2 or 3. If anybody posts from YouTube, we've got the trifecta. So good to know. Good to know. John, how's it looking? Oh, yeah, by the way, hi, John. How's it looking on Twitch? Everything streaming okay over there? I've got 3 platforms at once going right now. Same time, man. Same time. Clearsville, fantastic. Yeah, I think the again, repeating for anybody that's listened before, but I think the tabletop sim stuff's just a little too extensive for me to do multi-platform, or at least across YouTube and Twitch. So it'll stick to Twitch. But I'm hoping, and this is what this test tonight is for, is that doing just a regular stream like this will come across all platforms clear without dropping. I won't be able to check Facebook until afterwards to see if it keeps it or not. I also haven't read to see if there's like a limited time you can stream or what. I haven't. The most I paid attention to Facebook is, hey, you can link your Facebook. You want to? Heck yeah, I do. And then that was as far as that went. I've read all the YouTube and Twitch stuff, though. For what it's worth. Oh. Just painting up some Blood Reavers. Throwing on some red. Because, Blood Reavers. Corn. You'd think Corn's favorite color would be yellow, but no, it's red. One day, I will have Corn on the table and on camera. Shrapnel, you done any work on your Ironjawz lately? Or have you needed to? I don't actually know what you have anymore. Nice. Ten more Ardboys. You cannot go wrong with Ardboys. They are amazing. Alright, I think that's all the red metals I'm going to do on this guy. Alright guys, let's get you piled up over here. I love the Ardboy models anyway, too. This is neat. Hydration. Get your water, folks. Because now it's water. I'm thinking of making myself do a schedule. Yeah. Mine's not Jameson usually, because I can't have whiskey. Good old Captain Morgan. Much like my meat, I like my rum spiced. So you want to help me work out a schedule? So I've got someone to bounce the ideas off of? Cool. Glad you do. Thanks, man. Since I have the full-time job and family to consider before all this, every other week I have a 3-day weekend. I'm thinking on those 3-day weekends, which would be, right now, Thursday nights, after old Rantcast does its thing, because I don't like stepping on people's toes, I'm gonna do some hobby streaming like this. I may keep it permanent, I may not. But I could do these hobby streams. And I know Monday nights, a lot of the locals over the card shop want to start playing Tabletop Sim, and Brian plays Tabletop Simulator. So I might stream, do something like a Monday night live stream of Tabletop Simulator. Every other Thursday night, hobby stream on Twitch and Facebook. And nobody knows it yet, but here's the spoiler. The way I'm doing battle reports is twice a month, with the War Center beforehand, premiering both so they're live and I can get in chat and talk. But I've been doing those at like 1 o'clock on every other Friday, which happens to be the Fridays I have off. So I can be home and chilled out with everybody and hanging out during the premieres. So it'd be on YouTube, War Center, and Battle Report every other Friday. Every other Thursday on Twitch and Facebook would be a hobby stream. Probably every Monday would be a live Twitch stream. And then all the other days in between, I'd have to spend editing any kind of battle reports and whatnot that I would make. And just so you know, when 3rd edition drops, I am going to spend basically the entire first week learning the hell out of it and making a how to play series. So I don't have to teach anybody. Well, I mean, not because I don't want to teach anybody, but so I can more easily teach people. And if I can't get to them in person, or if I don't have time in person to go into extensive detail, or I teach somebody in person and they need a reference, then they can go through a how to play series on the channel as well and use that for Age of Sigmar. I have also printed out all of the current rules for Ignition Core. I have a couple of battle reports up for that. It's a sci-fi mech skirmish level game made by a local friend. Now that the rules have kind of fleshed out, the rule book looks awesome. I'm working on making a how to play series for that as well. That'll give me good practice for Age of Sigmar too. So I think I'm going to do the Ignition Core one first while I'm waiting on 3rd edition to come out. Yeah, that's missioncoregames.com. You can see what his game's all about. Buy your models from that, and once you bought your little fire team, you don't ever have to buy any more models to keep playing the game. Your box comes with everything you need for your entire fire team. It's a smaller scale game than Warhammer, so it's so you have a Warlord mech, 2 Sentinel mechs, I think it's 3 or 4 infantry, and a support ship, like a drop ship, or equivalent for whatever faction you're playing. That's your whole army. Oh, and pilot. Your pilot that pilots your Warlord mech. And that's it. Okay, and as an added bonus, the maker of the game is a current active Marine. So you're supporting his life outside of the military, and you support his game. What's wrong, Shrapnel? Something I said? Yeah, I could have just said active military or supporting a veteran. Combat veteran, for sure. But I threw out the branch just to get you going a little. Alright, is that all the red for this guy? I believe so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll do 3 more reds and then I might move on to another color. You been able to get any games in recently? I don't know why I dry these off, but it's like a nervous habit, rinsing it off and then drying it. Ooh, played last week versus Skaven. What kind of Skaven list did you play against? If you remember. There's some little rats and some big rats and some real big rats and guns and this big bell. I'm gonna guess something like that. Oh, old man bones. Oh. Little fellas. That's probably pretty scary. I've learned recently learned playing Brian on Tabletop Simulator the fear that is Death Frenzy. Hello. John. Yep.
Hey, John.
Looks like it's holding up pretty well like this. Hey, you. It looks like it's holding up on all the platforms when it's not a game. I get so much more painted doing this on a stream. If I sit here trying to paint by myself, I will get bored like halfway through a helmet. Just be like, well, I shall call you half helmet because I'm done. Can't believe more people aren't awake at 11:30 on a weeknight. Oh yeah. And I'm so excited and so ready for 3rd edition. Got a couple people really that have convinced me to start learning 40k as well. I mean, I played a couple of games of 8th edition with my Tyranids, because I have a Tyranid army. But I just like Age of Sigmar so much more. But 9th edition 40k does look a lot better than it ever has. One of the people convincing me is the creator of Ignition Core Games, and The other one's the owner of the card shop, Jonah. I've been playing 40k forever, but they're convincing me. And one of these, pretty soon in the paint stream, I'll have Ignition Core models and some 40k Tyranids I'll be painting, which Tyranids are going to be super easy because it's basically contrast red on the carapace, skeleton horde on the underbody. Next. It's kind of similar to what I'm doing here, but these guys actually have more colors and leathers and things like that. Not bugs. John, have I told you about the plans for the super recording vacation week? Well, let me tell you. But when 3rd edition officially drops, and I have time to spend a couple of days learning it, theoretically it's coming out in the next month or two. It should be pretty soon. Brian's off of college now for the summer. I have plenty of vacation saved up. So, I'm going to take a week off of regular work and then treat that week like a work week and spend all those days busting out just a battle report every day. A war center and a battle report. Mixing up the different armies, playing against all our different lists. Try to get as many people involved, like yourself and Jonah, just to mix it up, maybe mix up who's playing who, and have a week of just busting out battle reports and then putting them all out one week after another. Just to swarm some content in, but keeping it quality because I'll have time to record it right. Because right now it's a push to even get 2 battle reports a month out, but I keep trying, and was on a good trajectory. But with the 3rd edition announcement, it kind of, that's the only reason I slowed down this time. Because I had a chance to record some battle reports. I was like, well, I don't know. I don't think anybody cares about 2nd edition battle reports right now. Does that even have any places for red? It does not. This guy does. You know what? Let's stick with the non-silver metals. See, I just need everybody to support in what way they can so I can justify making this my job. I'll make so much content. Age of Sigmar, Ignition Core, 40k, whatever else I get into. I'm okay with this being my job. It needs to be worth it. Till then, I'll just do it for fun. Instead of for fun and for profit. Quote unquote. Profit, whatever. Basically, I'm gonna do this anyway, but, you know, it'd be nice if I could only do this. But the more I do it, the more I'm doing it now, the more I'm taking this very seriously on scheduling and all that, the more I've been able to get stuff out and not interfere with personal life and family and work and all that. Streaming helps because it's stuff I want to do anyway, like talking and painting and all that. But then content's still happening and I'm getting to know people more. There's been a few people I've never met that have come in and talked, and that's really cool. Consistency is key, from what I hear, is what Shameless Soul says. Yeah, and if there's one thing about my life that I've been good at, it's definitely not consistency. Unfortunately. I'm a bit scatterbrained, is what I'm saying. But, you know, so I kind of flip it around and say, I'll just be persistent. I might not be consistent, but I'll be persistent. Ultimately, as long as I'm still having fun with it, I'll keep doing it. If I stop having fun, then I probably won't do it anymore. But, and I don't mean like that one wasn't fun. That one video, I'm not doing this ever again. I mean, if I like go a stint where I'm like, you know what, I just don't really care to do this anymore, I'll stop. But for me, part of the hobby is the content creation. It's great fun. Day 3, you're on day 3 of actually keeping a schedule. That's worth celebrating for sure. Because I'm probably going to get this wrong, but I've heard that the way to create a habit is you have to do it for 90 days. But that seems like so much. And I feel like I have an obsessive enough personality that it takes a lot less than that to make it a habit, depending on what it is. Sure as hell didn't take me 90 days to get obsessed with this with Age of Sigmar. It took me about 2. That's right, John. You're pro Dr. Pepper drinker. You know, what's the difference between a professional and an addict? Because professionals are paid. Addicts go to meetings. Not to darken the mood, but with my family, that's certainly not the truth. They can be an addict and not go to meetings. But I digress. Anyway, how about those Chaos Gods? Nurgle all day. Brian, another member of the channel, would definitely agree with that. I really love Khorne in Age of Sigmar. I don't tout it much, but you know, I'm sitting here plating some blood reavers. And I like running just way too many of them to be good. But I love it too much. The list I've been running is not going to be, theoretically, is not going to be legal in 3rd edition since they're getting rid of battalions. But it's a Dark Feast battalion and a Brass to Spoilers battalion, so I've got lots of Bestigors and lots of Blood Reavers and all kinds of death. Thinking of selling everything AOS you have except Chaos. Well, I mean, if you still have Chaos, then technically you have armies for 40k and Age of Sigmar, if it's demons. Lots of Khorne and Nurgle. All right, Shameless Soul, what's your favorite Nurgle model? Let me get a count of my guys I painted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, one more red guy, and then I'm going to move on to other colors. Great Unclean One plastic kit. Easy. That is still one of the best kits. That came out early too in Age of Sigmar. And Nurglings are a close second. Well, the cool thing about Nurglings is you can get them all over the place too. Nothing better than a sassy Nurgling though. For Khorne, man, I almost want to get up to go get it. I've got a really old Bloodthirster that is metal and like barely as tall as this paint handle and looks like a derpy dog. It's so bad that I love it so much. It's so ugly, it's cute. But man, I want that Forge World Dragon real bad. I just can't justify buying it. Best name, Sloppity Bilepiper. Not only best name, but now best ability name too. John, I don't know if you know this, but Sloppity Bilepiper recently got buffed. They changed his war scroll. Now he actually plays songs. And it's 3 songs you can choose to buff some of your units. And they all have names. And the best song he has is called My Love for You is Like a Ripe, Ripe Fart. It's basically peak Warhammer. Whoa. Nurglings with Sloppity, huh? Wait. Sloppity's ability just works for any demon, doesn't it? It's the Spoilpox Scrivenix that's specific to Plague Bearers, isn't it? So you can buff the crap out of Nurglings? I hadn't even considered that. That's hilarious. They just want to hug. Nasty, nasty hug. Wow. Yeah, that is really funny. If you end up not needing as many Nurglings as you have, you could always just have them appear on terrain. Or however they do their random ambush. I almost feel it in my bones that Nurgle's about to get a new battle tome. Or maybe I feel it in my sinuses and I should get that checked. But either way, I think they're going to be getting one soon. But on the other hand, I also think that there's just going to be lots of new stuff coming out and no new battle tomes will start recycling until later than we expect. I don't know. That was a really fancy way for me to say I don't know a damn thing. Oops, not enough paint. Need more paint. John, have you seen any of the new Soulblight Gravelord vampire-based death stuff that's coming out that they're talking about right now? Dude. Looks so good. Have you seen the giant monster vampire hero? man. This guy's like, what are these, bangles? Ankle bracelets? They're probably shackles. I'm guessing they'd be shackles. Should I do these Black Templar like I am the weapons, or should I just do these red too? I don't know. It's blurry, but I'll get a bit better camera for this eventually. I want to see if this stuff works first. No, I can't decide. No, I need to do his helmet. I'll do his helmet while I'm thinking about it. Fingers up the blood. What's pushing you out, AOS? I don't quite get what you're saying there. Please clarify, if you don't mind. Oh, don't spill it over. I think I got it. GW and the fans like Kangaroo Cavalry. I can't remember which one it is. And Vamp Lords with Vargai shoved in their arses. Just an old Grognard. Yeah, they're certainly embracing the high fantasy aspects and just turning it up to 11. But I'm all about it, so I'm okay with it. I'm okay with breaking the mold of all the typical fantasy stuff, whether just GW fantasy or fantasy in general. So it's kind of welcome for me, but I certainly cannot fault anybody for it being too far, because they are spinal tapping fantasy now. Up to 11. No, yeah, the demons haven't changed much. In fact, the demons has changed so little that the sculpts from Age of Sigmar were used for all the renderings in Total War Warhammer 3 for Old World demons. And then, hey, there's also an Old World game that's coming out sometime. Who knows what it'll be? Aside from a miniature game by GW, that's the Old World instead of new stuff. So yeah, there will be a place for everybody. So if you do get tired of the craziness that is Age of Sigmar, then yeah, you eventually will still have a place in the Games Workshop world. And they would love to see your wallet there. I mean, they would love to see you there with them. You think, what do you mean by epic scale? Do you mean like larger models or like smaller models with huge model count? Because that is a hot take that I would like clarified, so I understand. Lord of the Rings Battle of the Five Armies type. Now those are smaller scale, the Lord of the Rings stuff, right? But smaller scale than Sigmar. Alright, I got 10 guys. I'm going to switch to Black Templar and start doing these weapons. Come back to me. You know, I've never played... I've seen the gameplay, but I have not played the Lord of the Rings miniature game that GW has, but it looks pretty awesome. Very different than Age of Sigmar, which is nice. Not just like a cookie cutter rule system with different models. So Shameless Solo says, yeah, standard square bases they tease, but with an entire unit on them. Total War style. Oh wow, so like like, let's see, kind of like say this was the base, but like it had a whole unit on this base. It's like, so you just have hundreds and hundreds of models on the board technically, but you know, not taking up any more of a footprint than everything currently does. You know what? I think you're probably right. I hadn't really considered that. I think you're probably right, though. Hell, if they do that, that's be hard pressed not to pull me into that too. That'd be kind of cool. It'd be different enough, and I'd finally learn about old world lore. You know, I got into the game back in fantasy, but I never played. It was like in 2000, I think, is when I bought my first army. I bought a entire army full of dark elves out of the trunk of someone's car inside of an unlit dark parking garage. And then never found an opponent or learned how to play. And then gave it away. A few years later, and then way down the road, started playing fantasy, and then those friends got those models all back to me, and now they've actually been on the channel, the YouTube channel, Razor Tree Productions, in battle reports. Full circle. Your first epic army was squats. Love leading an entire Space Marines chapter in a single battle. Wow, that does sound pretty cool. All right, Shrapnel. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by and talking. I really appreciate it. Yeah, if the old world game ends up being epic scale like that you're talking about, I'm probably playing that. Be fun just on a hobby level, painting little models like that. 1,000 units for a 2K army. Wow. Yeah, you're right. It is more focused on the actual general abilities, saying that is more focused on the general and directing forces than individual unit strength. Yeah, that makes it a different game in a lot of ways. It's like you're looking at, it's like a general overlooking a map of his territory and directing from there instead of just being zoomed in on one individual battle, like the entire war at once. So you dig it, and it wouldn't be competing with any existing GW IP. Very true, which makes me think even more that you're probably right about it. They definitely don't want to compete with themselves, especially with the rising popularity of Age of Sigmar. They don't want to step on that in any way. I'm sure also the internet would be like, why didn't they make this usable with the same models? Because then we'd be able to use them for both. Which would make me say, yeah, that's why they probably wouldn't do it. You can use it for more, you won't buy as many. Titanicus is doing well. I only ask because I don't really yet play much 40k or any at all. Don't pay much attention to it yet. Not to say I won't, but Adeptus Titanicus has been doing well. I ask. I know you can't see this as well on this camera, but I actually really like how the black Templar came out over this Barbarian Flesh spray, especially considering what it'll look like after dry brushing some silver or red on it. Yay, happy. Yeah, it certainly has been getting a lot of releases. Like Blackstone Fortress got a lot of stuff for it too, being a different type of game. I guess that means Warcry is doing well too, even though I just don't care for it. Oh, okay. Blackstone Fortress Heroes got rules in Kill Team and 40k. Kill Team seems to do better than Warcry, but I don't know. I wish I liked Warcry. It's just so different from Sigmar that it just makes me want to play Sigmar instead, so I don't care. Actually would be more fun to play it as a smaller scale Sigmar instead of being a different game for me. Yeah, all those models being used in Slave to Darkness helps a lot, for sure. I still do buy Warcry stuff just because the box sets are so good with the models and the scenery. The scenery is really cool and kind of a decent price for it when you get it in boxes like that. Oh, hey, Jack. And yeah, I've had this haircut for a while. I just randomly shave it. Or I don't, my wife does. I think I've had this similar haircut since COVID because, you know, not going out to get my haircut. There's still hair here. It's just I just got it pulled back, all bunned up, like a proper hipster, I guess. And look, Jack, I'm painting corn. I swear we have the exact same taste in armies. Yeah, I'm painting Blood Reavers because I was already working on a list that I don't know what the list is going to be like with 3rd edition now with battalions going away. But the list now was a Blood Feast battalion and a Brass Despoiler battalion. Not Blood Feast, Dark Feast. A Dark Feast battalion maxed out with 6 10-man units of Blood Reavers. And then a Despoilers battalion with max out Vestigors and a Doom Bowl. So just all kinds of chaff, and I like to call them blood side points. It's not a great list, but it's a lot of fun. And it also involves a crap load of models. And like you said, with a whole lot of detail for 70 points. Hence why they're getting hit with contrast and like random dry brushing after this. And not much else. Corn is like ridiculous. So I've been playing this for a long time because I've had corn as long as I've had Stormcast just by default. And hell, I bet you got a hold of a lot of your corn the same way I did, where people get tired of it, but they have it, so they just give it to you. So I have so much freaking corn. Never made it to the channel, but I've played it a bunch. Time to end that. I am slapping paint on these, so they will end up being on the channel sooner than later. It won't be good, but they'll be on camera. Honestly, I think, all joking aside, corn is way better than people give them credit for. You just can't play them like you would expect corn to play. They have really good board control for their lack of teleporting. Oh wow. 5 Bloodthirster list is wrecking tournaments. That does my heart good. We kind of have a local corn hero in Texas here, Matt Taylor. That guy just romps tournaments and has forever with his corn. Of all walks. Just a good player. Building the Lumineth terrain piece. Yeah, I ordered one. I was able to order it, but I still don't have it. Hence why I haven't had any more Lumineth on the board. But see, you have more effort than I do. Is I was thinking of building one too, but I was just going to use my kids' Legos. Just make a like obviously terrible Lumineth shrine. Let's go see what you made me do, GW. Oh man, speaking of corn and the Lumineth terrain piece, Jack, have you seen that picture on? I think it's on Twitter. Somebody converted the Lumineth shrine into a skull altar by using the Hexgorger skulls on the top, and it bleeds into the waterfall, and then the waterfall is blood as well. But they like put the corn symbols and stuff all over the shrine, and it's a big skull altar, and it's freaking awesome. Oh, so you've seen it? Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, shameless when the tithe is right. Yeah, what I do with this list is I literally go forth and die. It's the ultimate death clock list, but I quote unquote screen with my Blood Reavers to kind of make room for my Bestigors to be able to charge. And then if my Blood Reavers die, whatever, they can run like crazy because I run it out of Goretide to be able to make the entire army run in charge if I need to. I mean, within reason, because it costs a command point for the Blood Reavers. But I screen that, I move up the board as fast as possible and just harass the board and then summon in the back line in case I need to. It's worked out well. I played it on Tabletop Simulator. I don't know if it's on Twitch yet, or Twitch still, because it might have gone away, but I edited it down and put it on YouTube. I play Rocco, ya boy, wah, wah, wah. Sorry, I can't stop myself from doing that when I say it. But anyway, I played Rocco, ya boy, and he brought his Living Cities list against it. It was a great freaking game. So Jack, you think Corn will be within the first 5 books released in 3.0? I don't really argue that. It was one of the first ones to come out. And that was kind of a ninja release too, back in 2nd edition when the Corn book came out. It just sort of happened one day. And it's secretly one of the coolest battle tomes. I love that battle tome. Everybody's like, oh, it's so bad, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know. Pretty great. Pretty diverse. Probably could be better, I guess, but whatever. Be nice if you didn't have to spend all of your blood tithe at once, but other than that. So what do you think with the first 5. Everybody in chat, let's type what first 5 battle tomes you think will be redone in 3rd edition. Because, I mean, sure, there's going to be new armies we don't know about that are going to be released, but barring new armies, what do you think of current armies will be redone? You know, Jack, I think you're probably right with Khorne, but I think it'll be Khorne, Nurgle, Beast of Chaos. If they stay Beast of Chaos and don't get, like, moved into something else or spread amongst all the Chaos. Yeah, and past, I don't know. Oh. I don't know where I was doing that, but I'm glad I was. The half glass full attitude. Thanks. I just like fun armies and fun things. Plus, I like making things that aren't supposed to win. Doesn't always work, but I like to try. Like, I have way more fun with something that shouldn't win doing things. It's kind of where the Phoenix Temple thing started, is I like birds, and then it's not good, back when I was playing it. And what made me play Shootcast. It's like, that can't do anything. I was like, oh yeah? Watch the pew pew. And yeah, they're obviously good things. I'm like, boring. I already know it wins. What about this thing that's real bad? It's real bad. What is it? I have more fun that way. Like that. I'm pretty much like that in every game I play. So Shameless Soul says, hi elves, whatever they're called. I'll come back to that. Stormcast, Sylvaneth, Vampires, Nagash. Oh yeah, Lumineth just got their new battle tome already. I understand why it happened that way, so I'm not really all that concerned that it happened so soon. I think there was a lot of shuffling going on because of release schedules and the situation in the world on why there were weird releases for a while with GW. So I really just don't fault them at all. I'm just grateful we even have access to our little plastic toys. Certainly not faultless there, but overall not worth my sweating over it. Jack says Stormcast and the faction that comes in the box will be the first 2 books. Yeah, whatever that, if it's even, I mean, I think it's Destruction faction, probably. I don't know. I don't read spoilers much. And what else did you say? Khorne, OBR, and November will be the Over 3. OBR, huh? I think Bone Reapers will get a new book already. I was thinking maybe, what did I say already? Nurgle, Beast of Chaos. I agree with your Khorne. Well, I guess in that case that would make the other 2 be the box. Stormcast and whatever Mystery Destruction. But I have to wonder where Idoneth Deepkin are going to fall on battle tomes. So like, it makes you wonder if the Broken Realms patches are because those battle tomes aren't coming until later, or if it's going to be like we've seen a lot before, where they get a patch and then immediately get a battle tome, and then you don't need that book anymore. So it'd be like Seraphon. Well, they just recently got a battle tome though, so they're good. I really just think it's going back to the first wave of stuff, because Legions of Nagash kind of just got a new battle tome because of the Soulblight Gravelords, with the spoiler alert, with what happened with Nagash getting backhanded by nerds. Daughters of Cain's already had their redo. And then Legions of Nagash have their redo. What else came around that time? Gloomspite Gitz came out around that time too. I wonder if they're going to be getting in a redo. Chris McKee says the High Elves are too hit or miss for you. I am okay with the wonkiness, and I kind of embrace it, and I'm okay with them just stepping completely away from normal fantasy. So for me, I'm like, kangaroos, yeah, fuck it, I'm in. I'll take it. I like it. But yeah, I can see where that would turn people off. I just feel bad because I liked Lumineth before the rules, but now I still like playing them. And now I'm just a dick. People do not like playing against Lumineth, let me tell you. Even if you lose, they're like, it's still terrible. Sorry. It's not my fault that I play a perfect faction. The fox is awesome. I can see why the kangaroo. I'm working. I'm not saying it's good, but I'm trying to work on a Settlers Gain list that just takes all the stupid Lumineth stuff, where it's like the Lore Seeker, Severith, and then Elanian and whatever, the two elves standing on each other, and then Phoenix Temple stuff because I can't stop myself. Some Shadow Warriors, stuff like that. So it's like all the annoying gameplay mechanics of Lumineth mixed with Phoenix Guard and all that. Still getting to play cities. But I'm not putting too much effort into it because I don't know what's going to happen with all these cities. Let's see. Did I miss something from Cornhuffer, or are you just confusing? Cornhuffer on YouTube says, if in spite of this you still do not listen to me but continue to be hostile toward me, 28, then in my anger I'll be hostile toward you. I don't get it. I feel like I'm going to miss something. I think I might have some spam going on YouTube. I'm just going to call that what it is, because or that I've missed some conversation. Anyway, back to Chris and Jack. Krista, you don't like all the pretty colored hats? I've kept the big hats, even on the hammer guys. Although I have considered taking the hats off on the hammer guys and making them belt buckles, because, you know, I'm from Texas. So a Longhorn belt buckle just feels right. Put on that belt buckle, start spitting some chew, and sing the song of my people. But then I realized, you know, kit bashing takes work, and it's already enough to just get me to paint something, so they get painted and then I'm done. I've done a few kit bashes, but not much. See, y'all are moving all over the different platforms I'm streaming on. Now you can see what the hell is going on YouTube right now. Oh, I don't know how to stop it either, so I'll just let it keep going. If it gets too weird, I might have to stop. Which is fine, because I've been painting for an hour and a half now. Or maybe more, I don't know. Unless the stream's dropped, I've been painting for an hour and a half. What is all this? If this is spam, it's the weirdest damn spam I've ever seen. Oh well. gonna offend the crap out of people, but whatever. It's almost like if Jehovah's Witnesses were spamming my YouTube right now. Like, look, I don't really mind if you're here, but what the hell are you talking about? You know, it'd be cool if y'all started talking about models and like the miniature variety, Age of Sigmar and stuff. Wargaming. Yeah, I don't blame you. I'd go back to Facebook too. I don't know what what is going on. If I miss something that's actual people and not weird spam conversation, I'm sorry. Just message me some other time or say it more on here. I'll pay more attention. But I certainly feel like I've missed something. Aside from painting these corn models, certainly haven't missed this. Yeah, I probably should look into what mods are and what they do and all that, but you know, why would I plan or think ahead when I'm multi-streaming and going to do things in front of the public? That'd be ridiculous. Yeah, I think I will look into mods after this, though, in all seriousness. I'm just happy this multi-streaming thing actually works. Tried it with Tabletop Sim, and it was, like, it stayed on YouTube, but it dropped periodically from Twitch and Facebook. So it was a partial success. But just hobby streaming like this and doing the possibility of having, you know, live podcasts and things like that going multi-platform, hey, looks like it's going to work. I didn't miss anything except for an obvious cry for help in an ocean of insanity. So, the internet. Okay. It's kind of fun to lazy paint models. I cared about my Lumineth a lot. So, you know, I had a decent... I don't want to say decent. I had a thought out color scheme. Whether it was thought out well or not is one thing, but I had to put effort in. These, I just slapped paint on them, and I'm like, hey, look at that. It's got paint. It's funny, no joke. I kind of started the channel for a lot of funny reasons. One, it was just the like innocent reason was just to show people other play groups, just to know that there's all kinds of different play styles out there and all kinds of different people that play. And the other one was to show people that shootcasts were something you could do, because at the time it was like right at the end of first edition, and I think second edition dropped right before I posted my first battle report. And the other one was show people not to be scared of their painting, because if somebody like me, with my lack of painting skills, was willing to put their stuff in public, then it should make you feel better about what you do. And it's just grown from there. Oh, let's see. Jack just asked, my wife's still injured, wanted to draw Doug as a blackie. No, her hand healed up. She's good now. She's been drawing. So yeah, hit her up on Twitter, to Lilia. Yeah, hit her up on there. She'd be... I told her that you wanted that, and I guess she thought you were joking. Like, oh, that's funny. That'd be a good idea. No, I think he was serious. Yeah, hit up to Lilia on Twitter. I can't spell it out loud. Like, I can spell it when I write it, but if I try to say it out loud, I get jumbled. Tulilia. To Lilia. Yeah. Anyway. Oh man, I've never done a. You know what? I've never paid to do a commission, but I've been paid to do commissions, which is strange to me. Because I'm like, why would you want me to ruin your models like that for money? But hey, they liked it, so good enough. I think I've done 2 commissions, and it's I don't know, it's not worth the time. I could probably charge more and make it so, but I don't feel warranted in charging any decent amount of money because I'm just not that skilled of a painter. But I guess there's a lot to be said about not having to do it yourself and just fire and forget, basically. Gotta say, contrast works really well over the Army Painter Barbarian Flesh Spray. That's what I've been doing on all this, and especially like Snakebite Leather. That one especially, Snakebite Leather comes out really nice over that, but all these contrasts work decently well over it. Slightly more than passable. I figured they would retain a lot more of the like pinkish hue than they do, but it works great. And it still has like the natural shading that a contrast is supposed to have on it. Wow. Jack says a guy spent 90 hours on his techless, and Jack worked 3 hours of overtime to pay him. 3 hours of overtime. Yeah, that is a great deal. I've been converted. It was a very quick conversion. I guess for me, it's just, you know, if I commission an army, I don't have an excuse to get on here and talk to y'all and paint. So it's like both these things are enabling the other thing. So if I stream, I'll paint. If I paint, I'll stream. Yay! Everybody wins. Except my poor audience that has to listen to me. Oh man. I can't wait to see all of the content that comes out for 3rd edition, like battle reports and all that. Because all these existing armies that people have on their channels are all going to have a fresh start, essentially, with a new rule set. Like every army will be fresh for videos, so everybody's going to be just ready to fire content right off the bat. And that's going to be so sweet. Y'all having? Is it still pretty bad with being able to get together up where you're at, Jack? I assumed that's what it was. Why I haven't had as many videos come out, so that's why I don't pester you. And I don't think really anybody's actively pestering y'all. It seems like the community's pretty supportive of y'all being like, yeah, that's fine. Just get it when you get out stuff when you get it. We're here for you. We'll be here when you get back. I'm lucky because in Texas it's been pretty open, and then in my town specifically, we never shut down, and we were still wearing masks and all that stuff, but we never shut down. There was a month where we kind of everything went to like you couldn't go inside places, but you still could get drive through and still had access to things. But now, I mean, for months, I don't think everything's basically been completely open. So we've been real fortunate to stay social and be able to interact with people, and certainly feel blessed to be able to live like we have. But it's also, there have been less people that I would normally be recording with. So you see a whole lot of Brian and Jonah from the card shop, because they were always willing to play and come over. We were going to be around each other anyway. Like Soren wants to come over more, but he's, once the vaccination situation's all worked out and all that, he's, busy. But he intends to come record some more battle reports. Guy that has a channel called Lore Master of Sotek. He's from around here. He's mentioned that, once we all get our vaccination situated, he'd like to do some battle reports as well. He has a Nighthaunt army. That would be cool. And there's all kinds of guys in Texas I'd love to go see and play and record and all that. But, tournaments are opening back up here and all that. I've been pretty excited. I'm probably going to run one here in the next month or two as well. But I'm probably going to wait for 3rd edition now. Because I doubt people want to get together to run a tournament for 2nd edition at this point. Oh, okay, so you know Lore Master of Sotek. I won't say his real name because I don't know if he wants that public, so I'll just leave it like that. Yeah, he's really nice. I've played him on Tabletop Simulator before, and he's talking about... He was talking about having me on this week or next on his channel to play Tabletop Simulator, which, that'll be wonderful. Really nice of him that he's even offering to have me on, because dude has like 60,000 subscribers. I heard on one of his streams, apparently he was a professional musician, but like not like in bands, but in an orchestra. I'd love to ask him more about that. He's starting to do a lot more than just Total War stuff. He's starting to do a lot of Age of Sigmar content. Tabletop Simulator games and painting streams now. Exciting. Man, I know it's popular, and I see that it's an awesome game. And I'm like, I play tabletop war games. This looks fun. I'm going to play this. It'll be easy. I am awful. Just absolutely awful at that game. Yeah, I knew Shu and Brent were. Shu and I've talked about it a little bit in private chats. It's really, really neat. That's amazing. I figured he did all. Does he do all like the background music and stuff for y'all too? He recorded at home. Well, let's see. Did I miss? I miss? I missed this guy's necklace. Going back to it. Oh, geez, it's like 12:30 in the morning here. I'm going to finish up the black on this guy and the remaining. I have 2 more, and then a couple of pieces I missed on these other guys. And once that's done, I must make myself go to sleep. But feel free to hang out until I'm done. Oh, he does use others now. Sucks, I lost my audio recording software for music when my computer caught on fire. Because I don't have the keys anymore. Because I've had this stuff for like decades. So yeah, I had to rebuy the video editing software, which is fine because the new version is just so much better than what I had. But I don't have any more. I don't have a digital audio workstation anymore. No audio recording for music. I'll get it eventually though. when I'm ready to get back into it. Yeah, songs certainly don't have 200,000 listens, but you know, it's metal and it's not good, so that's probably why. Oh, that looks cool. I know it just looks like a blurry mess to y'all, but you'll have to trust me, it looks pretty cool. I think I'll do this spinal chain too. Yep, we're gonna do the spinal chain. Comment keeps sinking in more, Jack, about how much detail is in these 70-point models. I'm like, this is a lot of cool stuff for me to just pick up and throw it across the room whenever it dies. Into the bucket of blood reavers. It's like that old game, Barrel Full of Monkeys, except it's a bucket full of blood reavers. Much pointier. Much deadlier to play with. Any more spines I missed on these guys? It is Talilia. Here, let me type it out. Can I type it out in here? Oh, it's read only. It's Talilia. I'm gonna pull it up so I can not get mixed up. I'll have to look it up because I'm a weirdo and oh, crap. Just type it. All right, it is Tulilia. Talilia. Tulilia. I don't know why I can't just spell that out loud without seeing it. She started doing a lot more art of like her original characters and all that. So I convinced her to make her own YouTube page so she could make speed paints of those, or well, so I could edit her drawings into speed paints and put it on there for her. She'll keep doing the Warhammer stuff to put on ours and on the Razor Tree page, and now she has her own YouTube for her original characters. Funny, because she would just draw anyway. So you should stream that. Oh yeah? How do you do that? Think I should? Well, why not? You're already just doing it anyway. Just be streaming while you do it. She's having fun with that. Cool, I'll let her know. She's probably asleep now, but I will let her know to check her Twitter. Appreciate that. And what do y'all think is going, if anything, what do y'all think is going to happen to Flesh Eater Quartz? The reason I ask that is that faction they spoiled, or the bloodline they spoiled of vampires that can have zombie dragons and Terrorgeist as battle line. That might mean nothing. It just might mean, hey, more dead dragon armies, which would be sweet enough. Usually I'm optimistic, but the pessimistic side of me is like, well, I hope that means the Flesh Eater Courts are still around. And they don't just like lose a battle tome, because that army's too cool to go away. I'm not just saying that because Chris just finished painting a Flesh Eater Courts army. Okay, it has something to do with it, but it's not all of it. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. It was way more relaxing to paint with y'all talking to me. I don't quite realize the time that passes. I guess it could be good or bad, but either way, it gets more painting done, so I appreciate y'all. Let's see, after this guy, I have one more, and then a touch-up. Not a touch-up, but a piece I missed on a couple of guys, like a shackle and a spike necklace. Which is like dangerously close to a seashell necklace. I feel like if I take that guy's helmet off, he'll have like frosted blonde tips. Ooh, that was a bit of a sloppy application. Nah, Blood Reaver. What I meant to say is he looks just fine. Alright, let's get this guy touched up. This guy's got something that needs to be touched up. And this guy. Hope it'll be quick. On the home stretch, y'all. Appreciate y'all hanging out as long as you have. The test turned into a full-on painting session. Yeah, it's definitely a good time for me to stop. I'm starting to bleed over and miss where I'm trying to paint. I always feel like I hit a wall after a while where I just can't be accurate. That always means it's time to stop, no matter how far in I am. I can still push a little bit on these guys. Whoops. I say as I paint the random back. here so I can pinch your wrist. Yeah, Venice Wargaming, Cody. He's from Texas. I think he's a couple hours south of me. But he just he made an announcement one day on his Facebook. He had started streaming a bunch of video games, Facebook gaming, and I think he's still doing that. But he just made an announcement one day that he was going to quit Age of Sigmar. Something about issues with the community. Probably something in the local area I don't know about, but I think he sold off all his armies and stopped doing Age of Sigmar completely on his channel, and I think completely whatsoever. Yeah, so he just kind of rode off into the sunset and is done. Don't really know anything more than that. He was really getting into like first-person shooter streaming. And like I said, I imagine he still does it, but I just don't personally care about that stuff, so I stopped following after a while because I liked him well enough, but I also like Age of Sigmar and don't like watching first-person shooters. So I had no interest anymore, so I haven't kept up with him since. It's a shame because at some point he was wanting to come up here, or vice versa, me go down there to record battle reports for each other's channels. This is all pre-COVID. Obviously never came to fruition. Is what it is. These are all done. Very nice. Anybody else I missed? Any other pieces? No. Okay. Last guy. Last guy for tonight. This batch of 10 will not be done yet, but mostly done. Still need to get some skulls painted and some fur painted, and then that batch of 10 will be done. I haven't gone to any big cons, and the only big GT I went to was the North American GT. That was pre-Cities of Sigmar. I took Phoenix Temple when it was still just Phoenix Temple, and right after they made the change to where you could take generic artifacts from your Grand Alliance if you didn't have any command abilities or command traits or artifacts, which they didn't. So I took them and went 3 and 2. There are 2 battle plans that Army had a hard time with, which was Places of Arcane Power and Duality of Death at the time, both of which ended up being in the tournament, and those are the 2 games I lost. I actually played against Nicholas Carpentino, if you know who that is, at that tournament. We played Tomb Kings. So that was cool. I ended up playing Legions of Nagash, Tomb Kings, then Sylvaneth, then Legions of Nagash. Which should tell you the timeline that happened. Yeah, that was in Texas. The North American GT was. No, I haven't gone to any since. Had big plans for 2020 like most people did. But I would like to go to at least one big tournament in 2021. It's just, getting all the kids situated. 3 children. It was probably 2018. Yeah, it was before Cities of Sigmar came out. I think it was like the week of the Sylvaneth Battle Tome coming out. whatever the North American GT was in Texas. I don't have my browser open right now. My hands are full. Or as my boys say, full of hands. Yeah, so that was the last event I went to. That was not. I ran a tournament. It was a 1,000-point one day. It was after that. And that was a lot of fun. I'm gonna run some more tournaments too. Locally. It's a very enjoyable process. Plus, there's just a really big, thriving community in North Texas. Well, mine are 6, 4, and 10 months. I got started late. I think I have, like, it's hard to get them situated for babysitters, especially for an entire weekend. My oldest, like, it's funny, but I feel like my 6-year-old's already getting to the point where he could probably handle being around with all weekend with that, but 4-year-old certainly not. He's too hyper in a way that wouldn't work with that. And daughter is 10 months old, so you know, I'd have to wait for my opponent's movement phase to change poopy diapers. Oh. Well, I've really powered through, well, what's powering through for me, about 10 more Blood Reavers. They still need, outside of the basing and all that, they still need fur and the skulls. And then there'll be my version of tabletop ready. Then dry brushing and all that will make all the other stuff stand out a little better and make them as passable as I care for them to be. Good enough for camera, but my standard there is pretty low. Paint on model, good enough for camera. Well, Jack and everybody else that was hanging out, I really appreciate y'all. Made this a lot more fun. Glad to see that it kept working all this time through the multi-streaming. And I'll be doing this more. I'm probably going to end up making this a routine. Thursday nights, every other Thursday night, probably, after Meth's well into his show or done with it. Just because of my work schedule, it makes it where it's the best night for me to do this kind of thing. So I'm not on call, and I have Friday off. But hey, thanks everyone. Y'all have a wonderful night, and have a wonderful war game. I'm gonna go to sleep. Yeah, I can have guests before I go. Yeah, I don't mind. Who asked that? Jack. Yeah, I can have guests. I don't mind. Don't mind at all. Please, if you have anyone in mind, including yourself, if that's what you're getting at, hit me up. I am very, very open to that. I love talking to people, especially good people. All right, now I'm gonna get some sleep. See y'all.